All right.
I know. I
Let
know.
me.
It's weird.
Hi, guys. So we're back. Sorry about that. Restream, or maybe it was, who knows, YouTube, might have been Facebook, it might have been Instagram. They just kicked us off. So we got kicked off.
We're back.
We're back. Hi, guys. Let me see. Let me make sure. And then I have my Allie. She's texting me. Let me just make sure we're all good.
Okay.
Yeah, and we were talking about the admin for the Facebook
Yes.
group,
Yes. Yes.
and just saying that it wasn't too
It's
time consuming.
no, not at all. But I did feel like I was judge, jury, whatever. Like there was an incident like years ago where some comments were being floated around that really weren't supporting another floral business. And so I kicked the person out. And then it felt like, oh, well, you know, but I'm like, you know what? No, I made this page, right, for all of us to feel like safe and supportive. And I
Right.
don't have time for anything that's other than that, right? So you go start your other page if you want to talk some you know what about you know what. But it's like, so I'm really, really, really clear about the message and that we are here to support each other. And the second that doesn't happen, peace out. Because I just like life is hard enough for people just to like run their business and live their lives. And it's like, you know what? We got to build each other up. That's what we need to do.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And speaking
Yes.
of building each other up, and just a little like tangent from what we were going to originally talk about, I actually got an email from Sue McCleary this morning, and she started this hashtag I love florists. And
Oh, nice.
again, yeah, it's all about, being encouraging, educating, and inspiring. So I'm going to share that link too with everyone so that way
Nice.
you guys can check that out, and same with you, Charlotte. This, I think the more positive that we put out in the world, it just makes us again better and stronger. And
Yes.
I love seeing stuff like that. So it literally just came across my desk, and I
Oh, nice.
yeah, so it's pretty exciting.
Well, I follow her and like I think that she have Flower Forward. I want to say, but anyways, I belong to all these different groups and like I love even that where that is worldwide, but like people will ask questions like how are you doing this? How are you doing this? And it's like, it's so great, to like have access to all of these things, just to support us. So
Yeah,
it's good. It's
absolutely.
good. Yes.
That's very good.
Yes.
Okay, so we talked about so we talked about the Facebook group, and just a little bit more about that. Like, so you talked about how you guys like are kind of like open about like pricing and helping each
Right.
other out. Has that like evolved? Was it always like that when you first started? And like, you know, how
I
did
I think that it's probably always been that way because I think I try to put it out there. And just also I think that beyond that group, right? And this is kind of going off a little bit, but beyond that Facebook group, I think that the Bay Area floral community um is very special and unique. And I believe that it's because, oftentimes there's like, okay, the florist, the wholesaler, the farmer, like there's this sort of disconnect. But
right?
I really feel like we are sort of one cohesive family. I feel that it is really beautiful thing that happens because like our flower market was sold, it's going to be relocated, and there was a lot of turmoil around that. And the florists came together because the tenants, the wholesalers, couldn't voice their opinions because they have a binding legal contract with the new owner. So it was really our job, I felt, to step up and help give them a voice and give us a voice as florists because we're the ones that are shopping at that flower market. So that was like one example. Also, a number of years ago, Hannah Brannon, who has founded Gather, you know, we met at the very early stages of Gather Floral. And, if you're not familiar with Gather, and also Sarah Reyes, she was in the beginning meetings as well, of like they were working with the farmers and building this software program. And anyways, long story short, she is all about, the local floral community, really getting the farm fresh flowers to the people, to the designers. And so early on, I connected her with actually Jeannie from the flower market. I'm like, hey, wouldn't it be great if we had a stall at the San Francisco flower market where it all these different farms could have a place? And so, again, that sense of community. It isn't just the florists, it isn't just the farmers, it isn't just the wholesalers. It's one big happy family. So I think, just generally speaking, I don't know if it's because I was raised in a small town, where that's just how you did things. I don't know, if it was just that my parents, ingrained in me to take care of others. I don't really know what or how or why, but I'm really happy that this is my existence, and that I I'm a loud, gregarious, cheerleading type individual, and I'm gonna pull all of you people in for the cause. And so I think really what it is like enough people said yes, Charla, yes, yes. So I really think that that's what it is. It's just that enough people said yes, and it just continues to evolve and bloom.
Grew from there. Yeah. I mean, your area though is unique too because
Yeah.
you are kind of surrounded by a growing region, right? Like you
Yes.
have a lot of flower
Yes.
farmers around in your
Yes.
area and you do
Yes.
have like a market and so I feel
Yeah,
like
we're
when
spoiled. We're totally spoiled.
right?
Oh my God, yes. Are you
People would
kidding
kill for
me?
that.
People would kill for that. And honestly, like the San Francisco Flower Market is one of the best in the entire world. Like we are so spoiled. And I have to check myself sometimes because like I'll go in and I'm like, I have something in my brain that I'm looking for and it's not showing up. And we'll be like, oh, there's nothing here. And then we stop and we laugh at ourselves because are you kidding me? People would die to be having this experience. So it's having the wherewithal to like check in with yourself and remind yourself how lucky and fortunate you are, because my first floral job, it was in the Palouse Empire Mall. A truck would show up out back. We'd pull not very exciting flowers out because that's what's available, and work our magic from there. So I have experienced, the not getting your hands on the good stuff and now living in basically like flower utopia. So
Yeah.
yes, we're very, very lucky. Yes.
Yes. Indeed. And speaking of the Bay Area, it is such a unique market, and it's become one of the most expensive cities in the world, thanks
Yes.
to some big tech stuff going on over there.
Yes.
Can you talk a little bit about how that has affected the industry and any involvement that you've had in trying to support local floral businesses and just local?
I think just in general, expenses across the board have gone up. And I think a lot of that, um, you know, pre-pandemic, um, we just had to educate ourselves. And again, it goes back to, pricing, making sure that we're pricing and charging enough, asking your competition, what is this sort of like industry standard? What are you doing? Making sure that you are staying on track with that. But then post pandemic, or as we're sort of navigating through this, the reality is that our expenses have gone up significantly. And it is like the fuel surcharges. It's just, I mean, the list is like forever long. So that has been our challenge, is that we have to charge what we charge. We are not trying to gouge our customers. We are not trying to take advantage of inflation. We are merely trying to exist and survive and continuing doing what we're doing and providing the same level of artistry and floral design that we have all along. But it's just a lot harder now because things are just more expensive now. And, you know, I don't know any way around that, really. That is just the reality of things. I have posted to other wedding groups on Facebook, like, hey guys, like, especially to planners, like trying to educate the planners. Like, I just sent my price list to a wedding planner that I work with. Like, this is what I charge. So the and then that helps all of us, right? Because now the planner can go to the client, to the couple. This is realistically what you need to budget. And then so there's that transparency. I think the
Right.
transparency is crucial. So I think we are navigating those waters as best we can. A lot of my floral friends have opened up flower shops, and that's a whole new experience for them, and which I applaud them for. Yay, go ladies and gentlemen. But you know what? It is challenging. Like, it is, like, we're all doing the best we can, but our expenses have gone up significantly, and that there's no sweeping. I can't do anything with that, right? I have to pass that on because I still need to feed my family. I need to
Right.
pay my bills. I need to pay my rent. All of those things. So, yeah,
Yeah,
it's just the
absolutely.
reality.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is. You
Yeah.
said something about, transparency and you're working with like wedding planners so that way they know. Is there anything that you do that like is that you do ahead of time to show maybe people who are looking for pricing in your area or like looking at you for pricing? Do you put that stuff like out publicly? Like I because
I have a
in
big billboard that's flashing lights. No.
Right. Well, I mean, because a lot
Yeah,
of
I know. I
that's
know.
been something I feel like that's been a struggle with a lot of florists, right? They complain that like the bride will come and say, "I want this, big beautiful arch," and then they give their whole budget for the whole flowers, and the arch is more than that budget. So,
Right.
you know,
So,
I feel like there's so many people that just don't know anything about like pricing for these types of
right.
things.
Right.
So I'm always wondering, like, is there anyone doing anything like out there and helping kind of educate those types of clients so that way they
Absolutely.
know?
Yeah. So I personally, I have a questionnaire. So, if a bride is interested in working with me, they fill out their wedding questionnaire on my website. Then it lists everything. Then I will come back to them and say, based on the information you have provided, I suggest you budget X dollars. And please find my wedding price sheet so you understand how I got to that number. I can't speak for all floral designers. I don't know how other people do it. That's how I do it. For me, like, transparency is key. Communication is key. You can come at me and like, oh my God, I want all of this. And I was like, well, I can do some of that and let's get creative with the other, right? Like, let's see what we can repurpose. Let's, like, there's the workaround. And then sometimes it just isn't a good fit, right?
Right.
And so but I definitely believe, in communication and transparency and sharing as much information that we can with planners. Like, this is what my minimums are. This is what I can do for you. And I love what I do. So I of course I want to, like, work with these people and do my job, but it's also, it has to be communicated in advance, and the expectation, like, especially with Pinterest and all the things and the images that you get shared. And
Right.
then I just will tell them, well, that's going to cost this. However, maybe we don't need X and Z, but we really want Y. So I try to, like, feel like communicating that flexibility on both parts is really also helpful. But at the end of the day, we have to charge what we have to charge.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, Charla. So let's bring out our crystal ball. And if you could look 10, 20, 30 years into the future, where would you hope to see our industry and what changes do you think are coming?
I hope that there's so many things. I hope that we can only continue to build on supporting each other and transparency and communication amongst florists on the backside of things. And I feel like that will continue to evolve. And as long as we can continue to support each other, I think the growth will happen. Because also what happens with that is if a bride comes to me, and this is the bonus, right? If a bride comes to me, but I'm not available that date, guess who I'm going to send it to? I'm going to send it to like my competition because I know that they do beautiful work and I want to support them. So I hope that there's more of that coming, which I think there is. I already see it. Two, I really think that the local flower community, I see more and more and more new farmers, growers popping up. And I really hope that more of that happens. You know, cutting down on that overall carbon footprint, supporting a lot of these smaller growers. I hope that there's a lot more of that to come. We shall see, especially in California with the drought and everything. I mean, there's so many layers to this. We got to be good to Mother Earth in
Right.
order for this to continue. But I feel like I also think that the digital age. I'm excited to see what will happen and what is going to continue to evolve, because I think that we're just barely tapping into that. It's like I love, the availability things that I can see and click on, right? Like I love that. I love that I can order things in advance digitally. Like there's something about that. I love, so I think that there's a lot of growth that needs to happen. But I will also say, I think we're one of the few industries where our prices have not increased at the same level as other businesses. And so I really hope that we can continue to work towards increasing prices, so that the profit, so that basically the wholesalers and the farmers, and they're making what they need to make. Because let me tell you, those flower farmers and growers work their bleepity bleep 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 off. Like it is laborious, hard work to make us florists look good. So I want to make sure that the end, like that, where it starts, where it roots, where it grows with the farmers and the growers, I really want them to feel like they're making money at this, because they're like making us look so good with their product. So I just think there's a lot of room for growth, but I think we're headed in that direction for sure.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. So good. And I agree. When we did our workshop in Quito, Ecuador, we actually, got to see like what it took to like grow a single stem of rose, right? And
It's
like
ridiculous.
all the people that are involved in that. And, I know you're talking local, but it's the same
Oh
around the
yeah,
whole entire world,
globally.
no matter where you're
Globally.
at.
Yep.
And to kind of have that appreciation and just to be able to like, we created a video which I'll find and I'll share in my show notes too. But just a video to kind of showcase that so that way, and we weren't planning on making that video, but like all the people that were there with us were like, can you make this video so that way we can share it with like our clients
Yep.
so that way they can understand? Like I think people just think it's like kind of this automatic process and like
Yeah,
boom, the flowers just show up and it's not like
it's
that.
hard work. It
Yeah.
is really hard work. And I don't think that people can even begin to wrap their head around that. And I think, I'm from a really big agricultural farming community. My dad grew up on a ranch. There's just, that is some hard work. And then I think about everybody that works at the flower market. They're there at 12:30, 1 a.m. starting, and then they're there all day, sometimes till noon, 1. It is hard work. And underneath all of that, it's for the love of what we do, right? That's so beautiful that
Yeah.
people are willing to show up like that, right? There's nothing like working with flowers. For me personally, it obviously lights me up in a big way, but there's that beautiful community, right? That really, it's just so great to be a part of. And so we need to support and educate everybody so they understand how hard it is.
Yes, yes, and just have that appreciation.
Yes.
I love it. I love it. Do you have any closing thoughts that you want to end our show with?
You know, I could talk all day about this because I love it so much. I would just say to people who aren't a part of a floral community, especially like maybe an online platform, um, don't be afraid to start that in your area because I feel like the more support we can give one another, the more our whole industry flourishes and blossoms. And at the end of the day, we all benefit from that. So I would just say, if it's, if you're feeling insecure, tap into that. Go to that dark place, that insecure place, tap on in it and go to the other side of that. Like if you're like just starting out and you're like, "Oh god, I really have some questions and I'd love some guidance, but I don't know where to start." Put on your big girl boy pants, whichever fits, and ask those questions. Don't be afraid. Be your own advocate. And I would guarantee almost that you're going to be re- responded with love and support. At least I hope you will. And if you're not, just email me directly and I'll be your cheerleader. Because, it's just, we have to do that. We do. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask questions. What are you charging for this? How do you do this? How do you deal with this client, right? Like this client is really challenging. How would you, respond to this situation? Like, put it all out there, right? Just have fun with it and just don't be afraid because we're in this together. We're supporting each other so we can all blossom.
Yeah, I love that. I love that.
Yes.
And I feel like being an entrepreneur and sometimes
Yes.
working, it can be a little bit lonely. And so you're not alone.
No,
You're
no,
not alone.
no. You're not alone. Charlotte's here. She'll
Yes.
talk to you. But yeah, you're not alone. I mean, I remember when I first started my business and there were a lot of days that I was like, "Oh, it was scary." It was very
Yeah.
scary and I didn't know what I'm doing and I felt really insecure and I would make it my my mission if there was somebody at the market that kind of scared me just based on maybe their personality or they were kind of closed off, I would make it my goal to reach out to that person, to get to know that person, to see if I could get a smile out of that person, just so I could, like, okay, there's one more person I know in this community, And so not everybody's like me. I know I'm a lot. I know that I'm a very, like, wow personality, and that my approach is not going to necessarily work for everyone. However, what will work is not being afraid to just take that leap of faith. Just take the leap of faith. It doesn't have to be big and scary. We're here to support you, especially as florists that have been around a little bit longer. You know, in order for this floral thing to continue to kick some major booty, we need this younger generation to ask us the questions. Like, we want to support you. So then it continues. We all win, right? We're all
Right.
making beautiful stuff. So, yeah, absolutely. Just let's keep it going, guys.
I love it. And I think that's a perfect way to end today's show. Thank you so much,
Oh,
Charlotte.
you're
I,
welcome. This has been
I
great.
I truly love your passion, the light that I told you about before we went
Yes.
live. I love it. I can feel it here. Like the day that I
Good.
talked to you, I was like feeling super sad. And then I felt so much better just talking to you, even though it had nothing
Oh,
to do with what I was feeling sad about. So I love
oh,
it. I love
good.
your energy.
Good,
It's
good, good.
amazing.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you.
Oh, I love it. Okay, guys. So that is a wrap for today. Be sure to join us next month. I have two shows planned so far. I have one with our Mayesh design star, Akiko Senda, and another with some amazing ladies. Or April, May, April. I'm like, I might be messed up on this because we're a little bit behind on our design star videos, but May is someone else. But we're getting there, guys. So, but Akiko still has another mornings with Mayish to come on, and she has like a really cool video coming up, guys. It's desert ceremony stuff. It'll be really cool. And then I have some amazing ladies from SAF, Sheila Santiago and Nicole Palazzo. They're gonna be coming on and chatting with me too soon. So stay tuned for details. I'll be sharing those as it comes, and I hope you guys have an amazing day. Take care, and I'll see you all soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.